Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at XRP. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Before we go into the sort of smallest time frames, what I want to just discuss is what I'm looking at here on the macro, looking for the potential that we could still be looking for this X wave to be playing out. It is possible that this could be completed here, where this is W, X, and Y. It is also possible we can argue the X wave is in this position, and possibly we're looking to complete this move to the downside as a flat correction for this Z wave. So this is still something we're going to have to keep an eye on here. What I want to see is if we do start to break down in bigger 5-wave structure here, something like this, then we'd have to be on the lookout for that possibility that the Z wave could be a flat correction. If that's the case, what this would mean is we'd be looking out for a bit of a higher target here, but it still means that we do have a potential to take these lows. The only way that we can look at this move where it possibly would have completed here and we're looking for a bigger move to the upside would be as if we complete into this low here. And what we would have to then potentially say is that within this, we would be looking at the possibility that we've had something like this into this low and then looking for basically this move to start a new structure to the upside. Okay, so with that said and done, let's get into the smaller time frame stuff. So previously what we were talking about a couple of things. Because we've had this move to the upside, we're talking about that possibility that, this could be completed here and we could be looking to break down, although there is still the potential this could look to extend up. So the bullish standpoint here, what we'd want to see here is one of two things. So we talked about this before, potentially finding support here in the zone of this 45-cent range and looking for this fifth wave to the upside. So we haven't had any overlap here with the wave one, and this is still a potential here. It's fine because this wave two would have been quite drawn out here. So this wave four is still potentially, within that range. What I'd want to see though here is a move starting to develop to the upside. The problem is the move up looks corrective at this point. It is possible we could have something like a flat correction in here, but what I need to see then for confirmation of a 5-wave move to the upside would actually be a move above this 50-cent 66. If we do get something like this, what we'd be looking out for is basically something like this to play out, where we get a 5-wave move which comes back up and takes out some of these high points that we've got here. If we do develop a 5-wave structure up here, then we'll be looking for that retracement back down, looking to find support above these key highs here, and then looking for that continuation up. But at the moment, we have to be careful because this structure is looking very corrective in the way that it's forming, particularly this bit here. It is possible this could just be either A, B, C, and we look to complete and then look to push down again, or alternatively, this is just something like a triangle potentially. We're going to go over this in a second. So that would be looking for, the potential to break to the upside. Technically speaking, this would only be invalidated by dropping down past this 43.23 area. So, we haven't invalidated it yet, but it has come down quite deep in this scenario. The other way we were looking at this is once again looking for bullish potential. Would be looking at this move from the low here as a potential 1, 2, 1, 2. Our support zone that we need to hold here, we've come back down into this 50%. I was actually looking for a bit lower here towards the 0.618, but there is suggestion within this structure that we could see another low come in here. So if we do break down, I'm going to be keeping an eye out on this zone of this 42.38 to this 41.68. We can see that this would bring us back into these highs as well over here. So this would be quite an interesting little zone. If we lose this 38.83, this would indicate that the possibility of this moving up again in a bigger 5-wave structure starts to become less likely. Once we start to lose 786, it becomes more likely that this move to the downside is becoming a bigger 5-wave structure, and we are going to potentially lose these lows that are set here. So that's what we need to be careful of if we do continue to push to the downside here. Okay, so what we want to talk about now is if this is looking to break down, what we could see is something like this play out, where we see this play out as a 1, 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we get an additional wave 2 to the upside. So what I'm looking for here is if we move down past this 1618, this 39.28 area, we need to be careful that we don't have that that bigger C wave developing here, where we actually could look to, come down and take these lows. Given the current structure, it's not looking likely at this point until we get another move to the downside, which would complete this structure. If we do get another move down here, that would complete this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Looking for this 43-cent range to this 41.45. So I am still anticipating this move to the downside here. For as long as we stay below this zone, as we stay below this 48.69 area, I am still looking for that potential to break down one more time here for a fifth wave. And this would then mean that we have this potential to drop down one more time. If we do drop down one more time here, this would actually clean the structure up quite a lot, but we could just have a simple ABC pattern. If we have an ABC pattern to the downside here into this point, what this could mean is that this move to the upside is not completed. This could become an A, a B, and we could still see some upside play out here and potentially look to target out this 1-to-1 of the previous X wave, which is sitting up here towards us 76 cents. So if I just throw this into this zone here and we throw this 1-to-1, 1-to-1 would be up here at this 83.80 zone. So, this would be not unrealistic if this is the case. It would be making this wave quite big in comparison to the other waves that we have here. So I would be a little bit cautious with just thinking that it's a corrective structure. If we find support there, it's probably more likely that we're going to see some extension to the upside here. But we need to hit some of those higher key targets looking for that extension if that is the case. And that would be looking for basically, a move up towards this 98.54 if we do come down to this 42.38 region. So this would be looking for that bigger five-wave structure. So this is viable for as long as we hold this 34.73 and this 30 cents area. Okay, so now within this structure, like I said, potentially we can be looking at a possibility that we could see this breakdown occurring here. But it is possible that we could just have a corrective move to the downside as well, where this is just A, B, and C. So like we talked about previously, if we see a push down here, but we actually fail to cross this zone of this 41.32, what we could then see is, this move to the downside is just corrective A, B, and then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then looking for a fifth wave. Now, it is possible within this structure, we could argue that we already have a wave 1 down here for this wave 5, where this would become a wave 1 here. It would indicate probably that we're going to see some extension to the downside, though, if that's the case. It would probably overshoot this area, this 41.60 area, because the 1.618 would be down here towards this 41.50. However, it is possible within this structure, this could still be developing, where actually our fourth wave is either going to complete over here, where we've actually had a flat correction in between these, and we could then look for a potential target area. So 1-to-1 would actually bring us back up towards this 48.28. So I'd be on the lookout for coming back into this higher range here, this 48.69 area, as a fourth wave. If we do start to break above this zone, however, it starts to become less likely that we are still in a fourth. So we'll have to monitor that move to the upside, and see how that plays out. But there is a couple of things this could still be, just off the top of my head. Potentially, we could argue there is some kind of a triangle in here, which is still developing, where basically we have a structure here where this would be an A wave, this would be a B wave, C wave, a D wave, an E wave, and then we look to break down. So really, until we actually break back above this high of this 48.55, we need to just be careful that we could still be developing some kind of a triangle in here, or it could just be a more complex correction here. And then we still look to break down towards this 43.50 into this 41.60 area. As always, there is always the potential that somewhere within this move, we're starting to get an extension, and this could be a 1-2, potentially another 1-2 here, and then it's starting to break down in a much bigger way. But confirmation of that would only come by moving down much deeper. And what we'd have to do for confirmation of that is actually break down way below this zone towards this 35.03. So really, what we need to just be careful of is until we take these highs, we could be starting to form a five-wave move here. There isn't a lot to go off of on this move to the downside. It does have this weird bit in the middle here, which potentially could be telling us that there is something else going on. But you can count this as a five-wave move still into these lows here. where you would count this 1, 2, this would be 3, this would be 4, and then we've had an extension within that fifth wave to the downside, which is look to take us down to this lower range. So this is still viable, but I want to see how we react here. I want to see if we get a triangle here and push down one more time. If we push down one more time, like I said, it would make it a cleaner move to the downside as a completed C wave here. And then from there we have to see what happens. If we fail to take these highs again on the return and we just get a three-way move up, potentially back into this channel here, which would actually be 51, 52, depending on how long this takes, somewhere in that 52-cent range. What this could be doing is setting us up for a bigger drop, and that would be looking at that possibility of actually having a bigger drop here, looking for this as either an A, B, and a C, or this move is starting to extend out here, and we could see something more like this playing out, where we have a bigger A, a B, and a C. If we were looking for a flat in this area as a completing move, what we could see is potentially a move down to this area of this 27 cent to this 21.37. So this is something we need to just be on the lookout for. If we develop a bigger five-wave move here, potentially we could see a drop down into these levels. So as a running flat, we could potentially look to complete early at this 31.40 area. So we have to keep an eye on that. But what I'd be anticipating is a deeper correction if this is the case, looking for this whole structure to bring us down towards these lower numbers here. So we'll have to see, potentially we do have a bullish case here, as long as we remain above that key level here of this 34.73. But if we start to lose that zone, then the whole move starts to fall apart, and we have to just accept that this is a corrective move to the upside here. And potentially we're going to see this move start to break down in a deeper way. We need to just be careful of the fact that we could be looking to extend here, where this is 1, 2, 1, 2. Even once we complete this additional leg down, really we need to break back above these key highs to invalidate any extension to the downside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. As well as that, you'll find affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care out there.